Hey guys, so I'm going to tell you another experience from my childhood growing up with autism. And I'm probably going to get emotional. Um, Another reason I like cannabis, I know I bring up cannabis all the time, is cannabis actually lets me feel things on a deeper level and to process. It's not like I smoke to escape. It's rather I smoke to again observe things more uh, directly and dissect them in a more pragmatic manner. So if I get emotional, that's probably why, because I had some cannabis today, and it's probably if you see my eyes are red, that's why. Dry mouth and red eyes, two bad side effects of cannabis. So I'm going to let's see. It was about the fifth grade, and I had not been diagnosed with autism yet. And I was really struggling in school. I dropped out of public school in the fifth grade, but I believe this was few weeks prior to that. I wasn't going to a classroom at all. I was secluded because I was so low functioning. Um, I don't know how much you guys know. I've come a hell of a long way in life. I mean, it's remarkable to think about that little boy I used to be. I was very low functioning at this time in my life, age 11. I was that kid with this hood on, headphones on, never made eye contact, never spoke to anybody. I had a severe speech impediment because I sucked my thumb until the age of 14. So I had very messed up teeth. And so even if I had to speak to somebody, they wouldn't be able to understand me. It was a really bad speech impediment. So I didn't talk to anybody outside of my family. Sucked my thumb, direct eye contact with the ground, looking at nothing else. So it's basically just kind of this ghost in a shell. And so I was secluded because they put me in a classroom and I'm just like a sack of bricks. I'm just like there. And then the kids, I attract attention because I'm like not moving and I'm a kid in the corner with this hood on. And so the kids start bothering me, asking me why I don't talk. And some of the kids who remembered me from last year, fourth grade, are asking like, "What happened to you, Russell? You weren't like this. Why can't you talk to me anymore?" And I forgot they used to ask me if I remember them. Fuck. Um, See, like again, I talk about cannabis a lot, and again, I'm sorry, I feel like I talk about it a lot, but it's been incredibly instrumental in my life these past 3 months, me experimenting, because I never would have thought about that if I didn't have cannabis in my system. I have totally forgot that some of my best friends from like fourth grade, because I was normal in fourth grade. I struggled a lot at home just to put on a pretty face at school. But at school, I had friends. And in fifth grade, Colin, one of the kids, it's like, "Russell, it's me, Colin. Do you know who I am? Do you remember me?" I did, of course. I was too scared to talk. Didn't give him any notice. I was so petrified of any stimuli whatsoever that I was completely shut down. So I heard him, and I really fucking wish I could have said, "Yeah, Colin, I miss you." I didn't. And I totally forgot about that. And it hurts, but it feels good to kind of process that. Because I had forgotten about that. That's not even what I was going to talk about in this video. I was going to talk about something else, but that just popped out. So wow, yeah. I guess I'll continue on this point. That was the hardest part. Again, for those of you who don't know, I dropped out of public school in the 5th grade. A year later, I got autism diagnosis at age 12. But I was pretty much a societal recluse for the next 12 years. I'm 30, and I really just started to live my life in the public eye around the age of 27. So not only have I ventured out in my personal life, and I'm actually leaving my house in these last 5 years, but in the last 3 years, I'm navigating this professional business world. I have no idea what the fuck I'm doing. I just observe and learn and try to improve on from what I see other people doing. And it's again, just kind of reflecting on the last 3 years, it's astonishing that I've been able to do this career when I still have no social experience. From the age of 12, right after the autism diagnosis, to the age of 24, no contact whatsoever with the outside world, except for maybe very short, brief periods where I was not a part of the world, but I was in the external world. But I wasn't able to participate because I was still so low functioning. And then about the age of 24, I tried dating and things like that, but I've never really had any friends. I still don't really have any friends. I don't know what it's like to go out on a Friday night or Saturday night. I've never done that with friends. I've never gone out and hung out with friends. I've done that with people I meet when I travel. When I travel for speaking engagement or interviews, media stuff, anything like that, I'll know what it's like to go out. But that's people I've just met for the first time. I don't have a group of friends who I hang out with. So I'm still very isolated today, and really still not part of this world because I work from home, especially with COVID. And even if COVID passes, I'm still working from home, and I'm just traveling places. But then I come back to my own bubble. So it was really hard dropping out of public society at age 12. I lost all contact with all my friends. I remember I had a crush on this one girl. Her name was Veronica, and she liked me. And I was age 11, and even though I was struggling so much, I was still part of that typical life path. I'm getting these butterflies age 11 about this cute girl in my class. I'm too shy to say anything, but we giggle and just look at each other. And that excitement, I had that even though I was struggling. But then I started struggling too much, and I couldn't keep that up. And I had to sacrifice that for my well-being, which, again, that's... isolation will do strange things to a human. I've lived a life of isolation. I've lived a life of solitude, and it's not lonely. People ask me if I'm lonely. I'm never lonely. I mean, yeah, I get like lonely every now and then, like I'm like, I wish I had somebody to cuddle with, or I wish I had a guy friend to just shoot the shit with. But I'm not lonely, and I want to make a clear distinction between isolation and feeling lonely. The human mind can very much be altered when you are isolated. When you are deprived of a human's social needs, it does strange things to the mind. I mean, that's why isolation in prisons and in war is so prevalent, because it's effective at breaking down people. Obviously, I wasn't in a black hole for half my life, but I was in a house with nobody but my mom, dad, and sister, and now I'm basically just hanging out with my mom all the time. Um, and I'm 30, so isolation and solitude will do strange things, and I've noticed it's done strange things to my mind. I have a lot of, whether you want to call them complexes or just deficits, due to my lack of certain uh, usual things people have in their life growing up. I never lived out my teenage years. Uh, I was in complete isolation through my adolescent age. The most important years of brain growth, I was in isolation. So what I do, obviously I was sorry, I'm high, so my mind is kind of racing because it had a little um, pinene in it, terpene, which is also in pine cones or pine trees. Anyway, I was going to make a distinction between loneliness and isolation. So I'm not lonely. Isolation is much worse than that. If you want to be isolated, I call that solitude. But unwanted isolation is just like isolation. And it broke me down. It still breaks me down. Especially when COVID hit and people were complaining about, I can't hang out with my friends. The bars are closed. This sucks. I want my life back. Honestly, I was like, you fuckers don't know how good you have it. Like, that hurt. I'm like, yeah, I've wanted that my whole fucking life. I haven't got it. So, shit happens, Stop complaining about getting your freedom back. COVID's rough on all of us. And, I wish I could have friends that I wish I could go to a bar with, but they're closed, right? But I know it'll come. I'm a late bloomer in many aspects, and I'm finally really finding myself, I think, just these past 4 months for the first time. So I was going to talk about getting bullied. I had this specific um, incident that took place in the library that's a really juicy story. Really fantastic story that I was going to talk about. So that I'll leave that to be continued to next time. But yeah, drop a comment. Tell me your experience with autism in isolation, or mental illness in isolation, or just isolation. Feeling alone. Obviously, we're never alone, but we oftentimes feel that way. So drop a comment. I want to know what you guys struggle with. Like my struggle in this video would probably be isolation. What do you guys struggle with? And let me know what you do to get by and to take care of yourself, because I'm still learning that part too. Self-care is a big one. So I appreciate you joining me all, and I will see you soon.